Good morning, Philip. How are you?
Soka, very, very well. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to connect with you and engage with your wonderful audience.
Amazing. Absolutely delighted to have you here. We don't have anybody in the room yet because we are a little bit early. So, we've got two people in. Daniel, good morning to you. How are you? I see you there. And Aneshka, good morning. We come in 1 minute early this morning. The early birds are catching the worm here. So we're just going to give it a couple of minutes before we kick off. But Philip, it's great to see you this morning. How are you feeling? Are you excited?
Very. I'm really raring to go. I can't wait
Amazing.
to engage with such a wonderful audience.
It's going to be really, really good. We've got a good crowd here this morning. We've got them popping in. Elizabeth, Daniel, again, Rachel, Fiona, Ellis, and Jamie. Great to have everybody here this morning. We've got more people coming in now. Amazing. I'll just let that update for a minute. Guys, I'm just going to run a poll. Just want to see where everybody's dialing in from this morning. So it would be really good. I've just popped it up there. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? I know that you were in West Cork. So let's see where everybody else is. Maybe if you're just joining the call, pop into the chat there. Tell us where you're dialing in from, maybe what area of the hospitality, food and drink sector you're in. You can tell us where you work as well if you want to give them a shout out, and maybe tell us what level that you're working at. Killian, good morning from Waterford. How are you? Lovely to see you here. Danielle, great to see you. I know you're in the west of Ireland, which is great. Let me see who else we have with us this morning. Laura, good morning to you. How are things over in London, Philip?
Things in London, well, as we all know, we love to talk about the weather. All of us
Yes,
talk
we
about the
do.
weather.
We do.
It's very phenomenal. It's cool. And like I think the rest of the world, everyone's been very vigilant at the moment and just literally trying to invest in themselves to, when this pandemic's over, we can move forward with a lot of strength and a lot of sort of new skills. And this is a really important time that, investing in oneself is huge. And I know a lot of people around the world are taking this opportunity to really sort of spend time and looking at ways they can sort of better themselves. But things in the UK, unfortunately, like a lot of the sectors, and predominantly my heart goes out to the hospitality sector. It's very fragile, unfortunately, but everyone is taking the right path and obeying the rules for the moment, and hopefully that this is going to sort of get things a little bit more settled. That potentially we could open some of our establishments back before Christmas, God willing. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
To 2021, let's get ready for 21 and move in the right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I suppose that's what the whole purpose of this Ignite program is to help the hospitality, food and drink industry in some way, shape or form, help upskill them, help get them ready to go back fighting and fit and starting new chapters. And hopefully it'll resonate with a lot of people. And I think it's so important, no matter what level, what industry, manners and etiquette are applicable everywhere. And it's something that everybody should do. So I personally am really excited to see this presentation today. I think it's going to be fantastic. No pressure.
No. And I really love this opportunity, to use Sorka. You're an amazing character.
Thanks.
To Ignite and, giving people this opportunity to connect. And today is very much about interaction, so we can learn from one another. I really encourage you all out there to please ask questions, because this is what this is about. And I love to sort of really share with people that if there's someone who is a little bit tempted to ask a question but a bit nervous and they've never asked that question, and someone else is also in a similar sort of boat and no one asks a question, no one's going to benefit.
Exactly.
No question is a silly question or a stupid question. The only silly or stupid question is the one that we never ask. So this is what this is about. And my background and experience, the hospitality sector is very much my Achilles heel. I spent many years in the industry, and it's definitely a part of my passion and my makeup. And I understand a lot about where people are right now, mindsets and that sort of thing. So today is very much about interaction and learning. And I want to take you on a journey. That's really what I would love to do, and impart some golden nuggets with you all.
Amazing, amazing. And I said to you earlier on, we love taking people on journeys, and this 2 weeks is just a journey of learning and upskilling and support for everybody. And like you, my background is hospitality, and industrial catering and events and retail, and it's very close to my heart. So I think that's probably why I've been so passionate about putting this whole thing together. But look, we have a couple of more people with us. We have Katrina, Duncan, Ellis, and Karen. I see you've joined us now as well. We'll probably get a couple of more people joining us throughout the call because I see the registrations are still ticking up at the moment, which is great. But let us be mindful of time and let's kick off. So good morning, everybody. My name is Sorka Fanuc and I'm the owner and founder of TrainedIn. And we are absolutely delighted to bring you this Ignite program, which is aimed at supporting and upskilling all of those people who've been affected by COVID-19 in the food, drink, and hospitality industry. We're delighted to have collaborated with so many amazing businesses around the country within this sector, and also with Taste for Success SkillNet, who are fully funding this particular program so that it's free to access for all of you, your employees, your family, your friends, and anybody in the hospitality, food and drink sector who you think will benefit from this program. This program will be successful by the amount of people that we can share it with. So please share the links to as many people as you can and help spread the support. Today, we are absolutely delighted to have Philip Sykes from the British School of Etiquette with us this morning, who is going to deliver an amazing course on manners and etiquette in the workplace. Philip has worked for some really prestigious clients, such as Cartier, Barclays, and a number of other establishments across the world. I know we have probably a couple of five-star hotels, retail chains, restaurants, and a very big mix of people on the call today. So it'd be really, really good if you could pop into the chat and let us know what level that you're working at and maybe what area of the sector that you're in, just to give Philip a gauge of who we have with us. But before we kick off today, Philip, I'm just run through a bit of housekeeping. We can't see you and we can't hear you, so please make use of the chat facility. I've put a poll up there just to get a gauge where we have people in. So we got 63% in Munster, 18% in Leinster, and 18% in Connacht. I'm sure that will change as people are drawn to the poll. But please use the chat facility. Ask as many questions as you can. If there is a question that you don't want to put into the public forum, please send it directly to me and I will withhold your details and ask the question on your behalf. And that's it. Philip, tell us, what are we going to go?
Right. So everybody, hello, and a very, very warm welcome wherever you are in all parts of the United Kingdom and potentially dialing in from other parts of the world on this wonderful opportunity. I would love to take you on this journey where I'd love to give you some flesh on the bone on etiquette and manners, because I think a lot of people look at etiquette and manners, oh, it's for the posh people and blah, blah, blah. And actually, it couldn't be further from the truth. You know, etiquette and manners are such fundamental skills, and it's really core skills. And when we've got good etiquette and manners, it gives us what we call confidence. And there's a wonderful French phrase called savoir-faire, which really directly translated into the English language is knowledge, knowing what to do in any given situation. And that gives us confidence. So when we've got good etiquette and good manners, we can connect with people, not just with our customers, but connect with one another in the workplace, connect with our family members, connect with friends, because etiquette and manners give us that incredible ability to build our confidence and put whatever foot's the correct foot forward, you put it forward. And so we're going to go along that journey. I want to put some flesh on the bone. I would also love to chat to you and discuss with you some fundamental skills and tools in any industry, predominantly obviously hospitality, but any industry, that attention to detail and really using what we would call professional language skills, connecting with people with the power of your communication, your body language, and the way we speak to people. So that's really the journey I would love to go down and add some flesh on the bone as we go. So without further ado, if I may get cracking, I would love to throw it out there to all of you. And I hope you've got pen and paper at hand, because I'm sure not just me, but many of the wonderful people presenting and sharing their knowledge and skills with you are going to be delivering some fantastic golden nuggets. And in the past, obviously prior to lockdown, I was doing a huge amount of traveling, and I always take a notebook wherever I go, because I'm always writing down whatever I'm learning. So when I used to jump on an aircraft, I used to look at something that could educate me. So I would love you all to continue what you're doing, is take the bull by the horn and continue to invest in you, because at the end of the day, this is about you. And I want you to look at this opportunity with me as looking at a sponge that's full of water and wringing it out so all the drops of water fall out. I'm here for your benefit. So as Sorka said, if there are any questions, anything you want to share, anything that relates to you, or anything you're not quite sure of, please pop it in the chat, and we will open up at the end of the session for a Q&A opportunity. Now, a lot of people ask me, Philip, what are manners and what are etiquette? How do we define it? And many, many years ago, I thought, well, let me give someone an understanding. For me, good etiquette and good manners are about 4 real key things. Before, you really sort of feast your eyes on the slide in front of you, is really having a what can I do for you attitude. How can I help you? How can I support you? The second one was, in a world where we can be absolutely anything, be kind. The third one was focused very much on putting people at ease and in comfort in a very short space of time, putting people at that zone or that area where they just feel very relaxed and comfortable within your company. And the fourth one was that if we all do a random act of kindness on a daily basis, we may just set the world in the right direction. So for me, those were really 4 crucial points that I wanted to share with that individual who asked me that question. Now, in front of the screen, and I'm not going to read it out to you, I'd love you just to spend a minute or so reading this in front of you, because this is a synopsis. This is a sort of a thumbnail sketch of what good manners are. And I hope you're all taking notes. So please, Sorka, when you're ready, and maybe give it another 30 seconds, we can move on to a synopsis of what good etiquette is, or what etiquette is. Now, while you're reading, ladies and gentlemen, I hope my voice doesn't sort of pull you off concentration here, is something really jumps out at me on this last slide, and it really is summed up in that last sentence, where one is obviously representing your inner self, and the other one is how we portray ourselves, in public and to people. And one, in a nutshell, it represents the way of acting, and the other one is how you treat people. Etiquette and manners are that simple, and I think a lot of us get in our own way when it comes to etiquette and manners. We forget how to incorporate etiquette and manners. And this is something I want you all to understand. This is not about walking into a dark room and clicking a light switch, and all of a sudden the light comes on and you perform as if you were that unbelievably dynamic individual. And then as you walk out the room, you click that light off and you're going back to being a rag doll. This is about consistency, and this is about, it's a way of life. This is exactly what this is. And a little story I'd love to share with you is, many years ago, my wife and I were very fortunate to go to a lovely Greek resort. And we'd met this German couple who, I've got a 6-year-old little boy, and children attract one another, and then the parents get involved. And we got to know this couple, and we got chatting. And it was only on roughly the 3rd day that we sort of asked one another what we all do for a living. And they explained they were in the hospitality sector, the pharmaceutical sector, my wife in her industry. And then Anita, her name was, she said, "Philip, what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I represent an organization, focusing on etiquette and manners and that sort of thing." And she said, "Oh, my hat, you just are your brand. You literally walk the walk and you talk the talk." I could have guessed that if this was a quiz. And this is really something that I want you all out there to understand, that you are your brand. And that is a huge, huge thing to take on board, because you're not just your brand, but you're representing the organizations that you are working for. So whether you're in work or out of work, you are the brand. You are that ambassador. So this is where this is hugely, hugely important. Now, I know you can't talk to me right now, but I'm going to ask all of you, which telephones do you have? And some of you are going to say iPhone, some of you might say Samsung or Android, or some of you might say Huawei. But for those of you out there, I'm changing my phone, for example, from a Samsung to Apple. And I ask one of you, what do you think of your Apple? And one of you says, Philip, it's amazing. The camera's phenomenal. The apps are fantastic. It's easy to do X, Y, and Z. It's easy to sync with all your other Apple products. It's just the bomb. And Apple's just going, yeah, baby, we're loving you. Because you're a brand ambassador for Apple. They're just loving you. So look at yourselves as you are your brand and get people to talk about you when you're not in the room at a high level. Get people to really push you and promote you because you come across with this incredible, amazing energy, with beautiful etiquette, beautiful manners, thoughtfulness, kindness, because this is what this is all about. And it is something that I think a lot of us dismiss. We never look at ourselves as actually a brand. So while we're on this topic, I would love to share with you as well on the social etiquette, as in your social media etiquette front. Please portray yourselves as who you would like and how you would like other people to see you. Be the person, actually. Be the person that you would like to meet, if that makes sense. So for me, please, on your etiquette front and manners front when it comes to social media, be posting things that are promoting you as an individual. No one wants to see any negativity. No one wants to see you posting a picture on a general sort of platform of the kitty drinking its milk and that sort of thing. Be you, be your brand, and get people to connect with you. All of your social media platforms should be consistent. So for you out there who are professionals in your industry, your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile, your Insta, and all the other platforms should be very, very consistent. If you want to do private messaging with your contacts and friends and that sort of thing, then that's a separate issue. But your actual frontage, you, your voice, your brand should be absolutely on point. So before we go to the next slide, again, a rhetorical question because I can't get any input from anybody right now, is I want to ask you all a question about, do you take time to reflect? Do you take time to go on a gratitude journey? Do you take time to pray? Do you take time to meditate? Do you take time to go on a spiritual journey? Whatever it might be. And I ask that question because we all should take stock in our lives. And just a little story I'd love to share with you. Many years ago, and again, ladies and gentlemen, no one's ever had plain sailing in their lives, whether it be the billionaires of this world or people who are sort of just struggling to make ends meet. No one's just had plain sailing. We know that. There's no just a rolled out red carpet. There are bumps and curves and all those sort of things through life. And we learn from the things that trip us up. And many years ago, I went through a little bit of a challenging time and it knocked me off my perch. And I'll be very open with you. It was going down the road of a marriage going wrong, not wrong, but we separated, no nonsense behind the scenes. We just drifted apart and I was lonely in my own marriage. And so I never thought this would happen. And for a period of time, I was really felt like I was staring into the abyss. And one day I was running just outside Putney area in London, which is a beautiful park called Richmond Park. And I was going for a run feeling very sorry for myself. And I just didn't want to feel like this anymore. I just felt my whole world had fallen apart. And I stopped somewhere in the middle of Richmond Park feeling very sort of out of breath, exasperated, feeling a bit desperate. And I said to myself, Philip, I want to stop feeling like this. And I started to really sort of think, how can I do that? What is it? What can I do? What can I say to myself? And I realized very quickly on into that questioning myself was I had so much more in my life than what I didn't have in my life. I had my 2 beautiful daughters. I had a roof over my head. I could have a glass of water whenever I wanted one. I could put food on the table. At that stage, I was complimenting and helping my brothers in their business. I had so many wonderful things going on in my life. The one thing I didn't have in my life, unfortunately, was my relationship. And it didn't obviously solve things, abracadabra, honey rabbit out the hat scenario. It didn't. But I tell you what, it started to shift my mindset into realizing, boom, Philip, here's something to work on. And funny enough, ladies and gentlemen, that day I pulled a stone out of the river. I just happened to stop by a little river bed. And that stone is my gratitude stone. That is something I've had ever since 2009. And it's a symbol. And if I were in a room with all of you right now, I would actually individually hand out a stone to all of you because I try and collect them wherever I go. So my point is this, and on this next slide, you will see there's a statue of a person just taking time to reflect. And I urge all of you, every single day, I wake up every morning and I literally say thank you. I said thank you this morning for this opportunity to engage with Sorka, her wonderful team behind the scenes, and all of you out there. And thank you for this glass, whatever it is. I go on my gratitude journey and it really sets me up for the day. And I don't just do it once a day, I do it many times a day because it helps me really start the day on a fantastic footing. And I urge every single one of you out there to really try this because it is very, very powerful. And even keep a gratitude journal. There's something many years ago, someone actually gave me a book. You can actually keep a gratitude journal. You can literally write down the things that you were grateful for that day, some of the things you achieved, some of the things you challenge yourself to do. This is going to be hugely impactful for you. The next thing I'd love to share with all of you is on the next slide is a fantastic quote from Clarence Thomas. Now, some of you may have seen this before. It's very powerful. I would change it ever so slightly. I would put good manners will often open doors that the best education cannot. And the only reason why I would change that slightly is because keep educating yourselves, keep learning and keep growing. But at the end of the day, even the people in this world or people who don't have the fortunate access to education and that sort of thing, just with their good manners and their beautiful etiquette and the way they treat people and deal with people, doors open for them. And I can tell you so many stories, but we'd be here till the sunset tonight. But I tell you, good manners will always open doors that the best education cannot. So understand the true sort of message in this particular quote. Now, the next one, some of you will no doubt, maybe this will put a smile on your face. Maybe you'll go, oh, my hat, that is so true. I share this with you because every single one of us have a moment in our lives or moments in our life where our mood dictates our manners. And this is something that trips us up right through life, in our relationships, in the work environment, amongst friends. This trips us up. So I want to share a story with you. It's very much along the following lines. And this is, please, it's not a true story. And I'm a big pet lover, so it's just a story. Daddy has had a bad day at the office. He walks in through the door and he trips over Johnny's toys. He goes to his wife. He says, I've told you 100 times to get Johnny to pick up his toys in the entrance hall. I've just tripped over them. She then goes and finds Johnny. Johnny, you naughty boy. I've told you 100 times to pick those toys up at the entrance hall. Daddy's just tripped over them. Now, Johnny's all upset. His feathers are ruffled and he's walking up to his bedroom in a grump. He sees the dog and he kicks the dog. Poof! The dog goes flying across the room. Now, why didn't Daddy just come in, find the dog, kick the dog, and leave everybody else alone? The moral, as you all, I'm sure, understand of that story is we often bring our baggage either to work or bring it home, or we take it out on something. And often we react in a way because something else has ticked us off. It's not that person's upset you, just that has triggered you, and something from the past has given you that opportunity to react. So here's a tool that I would love to share with all of you, and it's called a 6-second rule. Now, when we focus on our EQ programs, our emotional intelligence programs, I very much believe that the heart and the head are fully connected because etiquette, manners, and EQ all belong in the same boat together. We ran a fantastic webinar recently about etiquette and manners, and etiquette, manners, and EQ, a winning combination. Because when you've got fantastic emotional intelligence, in other words, empathy, motivational skills, you understand the way you react, all of those aspects when it comes to EQ. That 6-second rule, anytime you're faced with a challenge or someone says something to you that could normally ruffle your feathers, take time to count to 6 seconds. Sometimes we need 20 seconds. Okay, so here's an example. So Sorka, you and I were married and we've had a dinner party and it's a late night and we go to work the next day, leaving the house in a mess. Sorka, you come home from work at about 5 o'clock. I walk in through the door at 6 o'clock and I say, hey, honey, how are you doing? How was your day? And I turn around and I say, oh, my hat. This place is still a mess. Why haven't you tidied up? How's the rest of the evening going to go? I doubt very well, okay? But Sorka's got the 6-second rule. So she takes a breath and she says, yes, it is still a mess. Why don't you pour me a glass of wine? I'll crack on with dinner, and if you can just get on with the dishes. A far better result. So this in itself, I urge you all to write this word down. 6-second rule. Take time to reflect before you open your mouth. And the other interesting thing is that I really want to share with all of you. The moment we speak, we give life to our words. So when we speak negatively or horribly or badly at somebody, you are giving life to those words. They've heard it and you've heard it. You cannot take those back. So please, we all need to really, I think, especially more so now than ever before, is slow down and really take stock of why am I feeling this way, what's triggering me, and use that 6-second rule. The next slide that we come on to is very much focused on not lowering yourself to someone else's bad mood or bad temperament. Now, I would imagine majority of you on board here today are in a very sort of people-focused industry, and that's obviously hospitality, hotels, restaurants, catering, and the likes. Now, here's an area that not only your colleagues, but your customers can also push the boundaries and push the envelope. And I heard a while back a really interesting sort of expression. Someone said, if I'm nice to you, but I'm not nice to a member of the team, in other words, a waiter or waitress, I'm not a nice person. So it really is fundamental that here, that your manners, you always keep and take the higher ground. Some people say, Philip, but aren't manners and etiquette, don't they make you all soft and a pushover? Actually, on the contrary, good manners and good etiquette will give you the confidence and the ability to tell someone to disappear and make them look forward to that journey. So this is the power of good etiquette and manners. It gives you that ability to connect with people on a completely different level. The next slide, and I'm sure you've all heard of the term, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. In life, we will absolutely, our motors get revved, we've forgotten the 6-second rule, we try to resolve something because your manners have got bad and they've just, you're angry or upset. Sometimes we have to catch the flies in life and we need to use honey rather than vinegar. And for those of you who have credit cards, I would love to share a story. As a lot of you may know, when you have a credit card and you don't pay your credit card statement on the due date, they will add an extra amount of money to your statement, so a fine. Not only the interest, but a fine. And I've tested this. I've picked up the phone and I've been very abrupt with the person on the other end of the phone. I said, yes, it's Philip speaking. Now, I didn't pay on time and you've gone and charged me an extra £20. Please give me a refund. Sorry, sir. Terms and conditions, we can't do that. 2 days later, you pick up the phone and the likelihood of getting the same representative is very rare. Hello, my name's Philip. How are you? Oh, fantastic. You'll notice I really slipped up on this last statement and I didn't pay on time. I was X, Y, and Z. Would you on this occasion consider giving me a refund? Boom, no problem. Let me speak to my supervisor. It'll be an absolute pleasure. It'll reflect on your next statement. And ladies and gentlemen, this works 8, I would say, I'm even going to push it to 9 times out of 10. You will get those people who, it's my decision, I'm not budging, I'm not moving. Unfortunately, they're not flexible or they can't be flexible because of whoever's explained to them that that is the only way or you are out of here. So that's when you just learn to walk away with your good manners and your good etiquette. The final slide is one that you've heard me say earlier on when I was sort of summing up what good manners and good etiquette are really. It's about doing that act of beautiful kindness on a daily basis. And that can be the smallest of things. This is not money attached to this particular thing on any level. If you want to gift someone, that's fantastic. But it's going out of your way. It's doing something that makes a difference. And all of us have this ability and this opportunity to be able to do this. And the final slide is very much about what are the benefits of etiquette and manners. And so it's yeah. So firstly is they absolutely help us earn respect, 150%. You know, manners and etiquette are all about, the way we treat other people. There's that golden rule. Now for you in this hospitality sector, actually we call it the platinum rule. Don't just treat people the way you would like to be treated. Treat people the way they expect to be treated or would like to be treated, and then treat them that way and then go back to being you. So for me, about the helping you earn respect and that golden rule, let's look at the platinum rule. And this is very, very powerful. And I think practicing good manners really shows that you have incredible respect for others. And in return, you are more likely to get respect yourself and get that trust. Remember, people buy people, ladies and gentlemen, and people do business with people they like and trust. And the other interesting and powerful thing is this, while I'm on this subject and on this journey, is every single one of us are one person, one opportunity away from someone changing your life for the rest of your life. Okay? Changing your life for the rest of your life. And I want to share a little story here before I continue with this. Many years ago, I was approached by an old friend of mine that I hadn't spoken to in a long, long time. And for those of you out there wondering what is my background, I mentioned earlier it's hospitality. And I was very fortunate in my early 20s to set up a restaurant in South Africa, which is called Pages in Time. And that's spelled like the herb. And it became one of the top restaurants in the country in the first year. Not because we served the best food. Yeah, we served the 8s out of 10s, the 9 out of 10s, the 10 out of 10s. But the whole thing was about attention to detail. The whole thing was absolutely making that customer feel they were the only ones that counted right there and then and beyond. When they walked back into that restaurant the following week or weeks later, they were remembered. They were sat at the same table. If they had been left-handed, the cutlery would have been switched around. Knowing, and this was all written down in those days. There was no digital records in those days. So, at the end of the day, that restaurant went to becoming one of the top restaurants in the country because of the overall experience. And all of you understand that word, attention to detail. All of you absolutely understand that area of being better than yesterday. And this is, in your industry, more so than ever before, is required. That attention to detail, go above and beyond. Don't do anything half-baked. Whatever you do, make it count. The smallest little things, make it count. Go above and beyond and be better than yesterday. Always look to ways to improve. So very much about good etiquette and manners. I'm just going to jump back to give you that respect. Again, they're going to charm your personality right across the board because they give you that incredible charm and they enhance your social skills. They give you that confidence. They give you that opportunity to really connect with people on such an incredible level. And again, etiquette and manners goes far beyond just the yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. Etiquette and manners is really, I think, connecting with people on all levels. Now, some of you may ask the name, the British School of Etiquette. I can assure you the world over needs etiquette and manners. That's just a synonym. England, Britain, the UK was synonymous with good etiquette and manners. And there's a whole history behind that. But like every country, like everywhere in the world, we all need coaching and training and direction. The organization was very much put together to bring cultures together, to learn from one another and to take the good from each other's cultures and inculcate it into our lives. And by doing that is being able to connect with people on all levels. So this is very much about giving you that, you may call it the upper hand. And I think that is what this is all about. The next one, which is absolutely crucial, is giving us that opportunity to make our relationships so much smoother. They help us take other people's feelings into consideration. They give us the opportunity to really assess the moment using that 6-second rule. And it's very important that we really make time to stop and think before we connect with people. The next one is about increasing our confidence. So if you think about, for those of you who follow football, as in English football, the Americans call it soccer. Again, I'm not a huge follower of football. I love rugby. And by the way, Ireland, I don't know what happened last week in the rugby. That wasn't good. I was rooting for you right across the board. But again, in football, I bring this into play because there's Arsenal. There's a brand that I think a lot of you may know the name. But what is an Arsenal? An Arsenal is a storage box. And really, it's a storage box that kept ammunition. And I want you all to think about in really building your etiquette and manners and your core life skills. Let's call this core life skills. And having them in this little storage box. And when you go into a certain situation, you think, oh, I've got this. I know exactly how to handle myself. Going into another situation, I've got this. I'm going into another situation. This is what this is all about. Etiquette and manners is not about the knife and fork. Yes, we teach the importance of eating correctly and table manners and all of those things that are hugely important. But this is about building confidence, and this is what this is about. The next one is about very much keeping us motivated and happy. It really will help us to keep us and give us that opportunity to lift ourselves. Maybe it's just for that window where you just have to perform at work. Maybe it's for that window where you've got to be raising your game with the people that you're engaging with. Because at the end of the day, it really will help us through those difficult situations. And I think showing good manners and being kind to other people make you feel good about you. And in turn, it'll elevate your self-respect and keep you motivated. So it helps you with that growth mindset as well. Okay, growing and being open to looking at ways that you can better yourself and change. And the final one, which I love, is absolutely about those moments where we do have failures, we do knock down, we don't win, we don't get the position we wanted, we didn't get the results we wanted. And I think this is very much what this is about. I think by having good manners and good etiquette, it really gives us that strength to face those struggles head on. Because we stop, we pause, we look at all the wonderful things that we've got in our lives, we look at how important we are as human beings and what we can do for other people, and the etiquette and manners that we have within us are those triggers, that ammunition to just take you to another level. What can I learn from this downfall? What could I have done better? And then you move forward. And so that, I just wanted to take you on this journey, because a lot of people, and thank you for sharing those slides, Sorka. It's very kind of you. We can get rid of the slides. No more slides, ladies and gentlemen. But I wanted to take you on this journey, because a lot of people don't understand. Oh, they think etiquette and manners, as I said, is for the posh people, and it's all the fluffy stuff. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, it's hardcore. It really and truly is. And I want to go back to that story about, I was sharing my experience with my restaurant, is that I happened to meet this gentleman who really reinvented himself many years later, and he became the head butler at the Ritz Hotel in London. And this is what I mean about going above and beyond, and never ever really putting anyone in the spotlight. And he was looking after a VIP gentleman, and it came to check out, and he was being assisted at reception, and he was paying, and then he got into the Ritz Rolls Royce to be taken to St. Pancras, who was obviously, he was going to take the Eurostar into France. And Johnny, the butler, realized that this gentleman had left his credit card in the machine, but it was too late. He had already departed. So what Johnny did is he grabbed the credit card. He asked one of his colleagues for a silver salver. He then got the other chauffeur who could take him to St. Pancras station, and they bolted it. He said, just find the shortest, quickest way. And there Johnny was with a silver salver, with this gentleman's credit card. And as he approached the turnstiles to walk onto the Eurotunnel, he said, sir, your credit card. He didn't say you've forgotten your credit card. He didn't say anything along those lines. He said, sir, your credit card. And he was blown away. And this gentleman ended up hiring Johnny to take care of his various different properties and basically the dormer. He became the head butler within his customers, within his client's operation. So this is what my case in point is about going above and beyond, using your beautiful etiquette and manners to connect with people, and using that 6-second rule to really make sure that you bring your A game, that you bring yourself to work every single day, because this is what this is about. I know how hard the hospitality sector is. I've been there. I would like to say I've got the t-shirt and the key ring on it as well. And it's my Achilles heel. It really and truly is. But we've got to be smiling. We've got to bring our energy, because we all know that when you arrive at work with like a bear with a sore head, it's going to affect all your colleagues. Now, something I wanted to share with a lot of you out there today is I went back and I was talking about the golden rule and taking it to what we call the platinum rule. Now, a lot of you have heard of the brand The Four Seasons Hotel, and that was founded by a gentleman by the name of Isidore Sharp. Now, what Isidore Sharp did early on in those days, and his parents were immigrants, they were Polish immigrants to Canada, and his father was a builder, and he went on to college to study engineering to then join his father in the construction sector. But he ended up falling into the hospitality sector. And he created the brand very much on the proviso of, if we're going to look after 5-star guests, we need to look after our team, our staff, like 5-star guests. And so he incorporated the golden rule. In other words, do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. That's the mantra. That is the golden key, the golden rule within the Four Seasons Hotel Group. And for those of you who know it or may have worked for there, at the back of that particular book he wrote, and it's called I've actually got it here. It's a story, it's a business philosophy. And I would urge anyone in your industry to read this. I mean, I've got little markers there because I dip in and dip out of it. It's got huge value to it. But really, at the end of the book, you notice the longevity of the people who remained loyal to the brand. Why? Because they felt respected, they felt cared for, and they really, really did feel part of a family. So these are the core areas from where I'm coming from me to you. Now, the next thing I'd love to share with you is about polished language skills, how we connect with people through tonality. How do you speak to people? I'm sure a lot of you have read or know that 75 to 80% of our communication is non-verbal. 75 to 80% of our communication is non-verbal. Funny enough, only the words, as in speak, is 7%. What we talk is 7%. The rest, so tone of voice, tonality, and then what the body is pushing off. And I can imagine all of you, guaranteed, growing up or even now as an adult, your mum needs to just give you that one look and you know, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. We all know exactly how powerful body language is, and we all know exactly that our facial expressions can give so much away. We always use that analogy, a picture paints 1,000 words. And we all know that our face can give off the wrong message in an instant because of what we're thinking, what our thoughts, and boom, it shows on our face. And especially in our industry, in the industry where you've really got to bring your A game every single day, you've got to make sure that your voice, that your face is listening to your inside voice, that you're pushing yourself to put on that incredible energy in that brave face, because you can let the side down and you can let yourself down just through your body language. And I think a lot of you know exactly where I'm coming from. Tone of voice is hugely important. And so, for example, I use an example of, can I get you a glass of water? Or may I offer you a glass of water? So those are areas that I would love you to look at. Look at polished language skills. How may I assist you? Is there anything I can assist you with right now? May I suggest? So we go through, and this is something we work on with a lot of our organizations, is giving them the core language skills to make that extra difference, to connect with their audience. We talk about the art of conversation, the art of sort of speaking to people. So with that particular subject in mind, a lot of us don't listen correctly. A lot of us, we hear, but we're not listening. So what I'd love to share with you, and my message to you on this particular area when it comes to the art of conversation and the art of listening, is listen to understand rather than listen to respond or reply.
Philip, can I interrupt you for 1 second? I have a question coming in. And the question is, when I'm nervous or excited, I tend to overtalk, perhaps from a fear of not being liked, and I feel it undermines how I come across. I want to have a natural but polished brand. How do you...
Okay, beautiful question. So again, I want you, that's no disrespect, I'm going to push that straight back at the person who's really taken the initiative to ask a very brave question. That's an issue you have with you. I can assure you, and I want you to look at this in a very pragmatic way. Bruh, no one's going to bite you or bark at you. Okay, that's for sure. Okay, I promise you. And I'm obviously, there are people out there who might not be polite toward you. It might be a team member who's not particularly engaging with you. But in general, use your 6-second rule for a start. And when it comes to your whole presentation, and now it all starts, we judge someone within 3 to 6 seconds. That is human. That is what we do. Now, again, I'm going to urge every single one of you out there not to judge. Place your feet in someone else's shoes. Don't judge that book by its cover. Give people the benefit of the doubt. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know what people are experiencing. Now, to circumvent someone judging you on a negative level, always bring your A game when it comes to how you present yourself. So be absolutely polished in what you wear. And this I don't mean by going out and buying designer brands on any level. This is something that I really urge you just to make an effort to find clothing that fits your figure, suits your complexion. Color is hugely important. I'm terrible with beiges. It drains me. I'm much better with pinks and blues and reds and sort of dark navy. Those elevate and give me, and it absolutely lifts me mentally and emotionally. So never underestimate the color of the clothing you're wearing. I know if they're uniforms and that's what you have to wear is one thing, but again, it could be you're allowed to maybe elevate your look with a bit of, if it's a male, clean shaven, well groomed, ladies, maybe a little bit of makeup, a little bit of lipstick and that sort of thing. But the way we present ourselves is hugely important. The way you walk into a room with your posture and your body language is very important. And again, use the 6-second rule. Introduce yourself, speak clearly. So we talk, ladies and gentlemen, about the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps are pitch, pace, power, pause, and project. You need the pitch, the correct tonality in your voice. Hello, my name is Philip. And you connect with people by pushing your name out. So that's the projecting. Whether you're on the telephone or whether you're engaging with people, push your voice out in a clear, beautiful manner that shows confidence. It really will. And I want you to all take an opportunity to practice this in front of the mirror. Put something nice on and introduce yourself. Hello, my name is Mary. Hello, my name is Philip. How may I assist you? Is there anything I can get you right now? And practice this in front of a mirror. Practice this in front of your cell phone, your mobile telephone. Use a video camera and watch how you sort of use your body language to connect with people. So just to recap, get out of your own head for a start. That's an issue you've got with you, because I can assure you no one's thinking that about you, that's for sure. Slow down when you're connecting with people and be very, very present. That's something that is hugely important. Be present. Make sure you present yourself in the nicest uniform or whatever clothing you are going to be wearing that day. You're beautifully groomed, and bring your smile. Bring your eye contact. We talk about what are the 3 key areas of connecting with people. And those are obviously not the handshake anymore, unfortunately, but those are your eye contact. And you need to connect with someone for a minimum 3 seconds, long enough to understand the color of their eyes. Then you go to what we call the human triangle. So we want to stay engaged with the face. So we go to the forehead, we go to the chin, we go to the nose. You need to smile with your eyes, okay? Smile. When you smile, your eyes must go bing. So now we're wearing these wretched masks. Someone should be able to see that you're smiling under your mask because your eyes give it away. So connecting with people with eye contact is hugely important. That smile is going to change someone's day. It lifts you up as an individual as well. And obviously, as I said, the handshake, which if it were in fashion or in vogue right now, would be a good firm handshake. Other ways of connecting, ladies and gentlemen, would be just leaning and greeting. Hello, how are you? My name is Philip, and I will have the pleasure of assisting you while you are staying with us. Or the hello and welcome. It'll be my pleasure to engage with you and to make sure that your stay is a very comfortable one. So again, use your body language, use your energy, and slow down. When you greet people, stop and let them respond. So that's it in a very, Sorka, that's it in a very short nutshell. We obviously go a little bit deeper into it, but it is such a fantastic question, and I hope that came across as helpful.
I'm sure it did, Killian. But if that person sent me a private message, so if they come back to me, I'll come on. But I have another question from somebody else now, also sent privately. Is there a way to make your body language match up with how you feel, or is it just practice? For example, I tend to look under pressure even if I don't feel I am.
Okay, super. I love that question. So I'm going to give you all the golden nuggets out there. I'd like you all to write this down for me, please. There's a woman by the name of Amy Cuddy, Amycuddy, on TED Talks. Now, Amy Cuddy is a phenomenal individual, and she takes you on a journey, and she shares some incredible insights into we as human beings. And it's a known fact that our mindset can change the shape of our body, and our body, the shape of our body, can actually shift our mindset. And funny enough, actually, I just had a reminder on my phone today. I was asked to go and speak in front of over 2,000 people exactly 3 years ago today in the United States of America, in LA, to these entrepreneurs from all over the world. And I had a 20-minute slot. And oh my hat, I was breakdancing. I was like, woo, baby, this is like hectic. This is, and, through a lot of coaching and a lot of sort of, I think, call it meditation, but also through a lot of, self-development and spending time with coaches. So like all of you out there taking time to engage and connect, I invest a huge amount of time and money in being coached. And one of my coaches said to me, Philip, firstly, your body language, you've got to get on your A game. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, by doing this is what we call the V, the victory. If you went and did that for 2 minutes before a shift, before going on stage, before connecting with somebody, it actually, what it does, it brings up our adrenaline and knocks our cortisol levels down. It's a known fact. Scientists have actually proved this. And it's very much the same sort of thing that if I sit before an interview all curled up and feeling all anxious and biting my nails and picking, and I go into that interview, I've already set myself up to fail because my body language has already prepared my mind to go in there showing that I'm on the back foot already. And this is so powerful. So to that wonderful question, what I would love you to do is before you go into any environment or an area that that normally makes you a little bit nervous, is do some breathing exercises. Get rid of any mobile phone you have. I want you all to understand mobile phones are there for obviously a good use, but not while we're connecting and engaging with people. It is a distraction, it's a disruption, and it's rude. So if any of you connecting, and I'm just going off piece here slightly, if Sorka came to me and said, Philip, could you tell me about the meeting you had last week? And I was on there going, yeah, Sorka, sure. How would Sorka be feeling right now? Disrespected, not engaged. Role play that again. She walks up to me and says, Philip, how are you? Could we connect on that? Yeah, sure, Sorka. And I put the phone away and I say, how are you? You're looking so well. I would love to chat to you on that connecting. So get rid of anything around you. Make sure you're very present. And don't forget, no one's there to try and trip you up. I want you to get that in your mindset as well. And again, body language, make sure that you've got beautiful posture. You can practice in your bedroom by literally, it sounds crazy, old school, by literally putting a book on your head and walking around your room, making sure that the moment I've got a book on my head, my chin is parallel to the floor. I can walk up, I can greet someone, good morning, good afternoon, and I can connect with someone with very positive body language. Have open body language. So you'll notice when Sorka was introducing me, I was standing here in this position here, not my hands tucked against my body, slightly apart. It's what we call the presenter's close. I'm holding my pinky finger or my index finger, and I'm just standing here waiting. I could also be standing here with my hands by my side. I'm not overly comfortable with my hands by my side. I've got a little bit better at it, a bit more used to it, but my go-to is from here. And then I can talk with my hands. How may I assist you? Is there anything that you would care for? May I invite you this way? All of those little bits of attention to detail are very, very important. Anchor positive things to yourself, not negative things to yourself. The body language area is a minefield, but when you start working on some just core little skills that I've just shared with you, watch the Amy Cuddy TED Talk, and you will see the value you get from that. And if there's anything further that you need help or assistance with, please do send Sorka an email.
Perfect, Philip. Thank you very much for that. Let me put my camera on. I think that's the end of the questions at the moment. Maybe if that person who asked that question comes back and says, does that answer the question for them? I popped a link into the chat for Amy Cuddy on TED Talks, so people can just click on the link there. But has anybody else any questions for Philip? Please let me know. There's so many things that I can resonate with. That question that came in, I am somebody who, I suppose I'm busy all the time, but when I'm not essentially busy or don't feel stressed, sometimes you can have that hard concentrating face on you and people just think that, oh, someone's in a bad mood, but you might not be. So I have had to, and it comes down to self-awareness. I talk about self-awareness all the time. You have to be aware of your own mannerisms and how your personality reacts to different situations and how you're perceived, because once you understand how you react, you can keep yourself in check. all the time. That's what I personally do.
And that is such invaluable advice. That is phenomenal, because it is self-awareness, self-motivation. This is all part of the EQ, our emotional intelligence, and actually checking in with ourselves. How am I feeling right now? We often never ask ourselves, how am I feeling right now in this moment? And am I feeling this way? And don't forget, everybody out there, right from the moment we're born, we are influenced. So you've got your conscious and your subconscious. And your subconscious is 1,000 times more powerful than your conscious. So your subconscious is the trigger that makes you feel like that in that moment, because it's a memory from the past and it brings it forward. And all of a sudden you can go from being boom, boom to, and you don't even know you're doing it, because that thought has created this incredible reaction within you and your body.
Yeah.
So again, it's hugely, what you've just shared is invaluable. Absolutely.
Well, and that sprung another question from the private audience there. How do you know how you're coming across or how you're perceived by other people?
How do you know? That's a fantastic question. Firstly, your body language is going to help you really connect with people. So it's literally, when you're talking to people, you're shifting your energy to them. You're maintaining beautiful visual, as in you can staying connected with them. You're not breaking what we call break rapport. In other words, I'm talking to Sorka and someone more important walks in the room, and I literally break rapport with her. It's going to make her feel very undervalued and disrespected and that sort of thing. So again, that is something. And I think you bring your A game. Think about positive energy and positive thoughts. So something that I really would love to share with all of you is, and if one of you was standing here next to me, I would get you to come up and I'd ask you to think about a time in your life where you felt that you could walk on water, literally walk on water. And I would ask you to close your eyes, and I would ask you to have your arm out to the side of you. And I would be standing on that side of your fist. And I would be now starting to push your arm down. And I would say, you're winning, you're winning. And literally, I've been hanging off the slightest wee little people, because their vision, their mindset, they're just, in their eyes, they are winning, and they are resisting me pulling them down. It is literally that effective. Now, I then turn it around and I say, I want you to think about a time in your life where you really felt that you failed, or you were knocked off your perch, or a time in your life that upset you. You don't share it with the audience. You just, this time, close your eyes, arm out again. And this time I'm saying, you're losing, you're losing, you're losing. And that arm deflates in a matter of seconds. And they are trying to fight it, but it just goes down. And before I send them back to their seat, I make sure we go back into the mindset of how they felt when they could walk on water, and when they were proud. And this in itself, ladies and gentlemen, wake up, go on that gratitude journey, listen to a powerful piece of music to get you in the mood. Do something that inspires you and invigorates you before you go to a shift, before you go out for a date with someone, before you engaging and connecting with people. Because we have the ability, and whether our mood comes across as positive or negative, that is your choice. Okay, that is your ability. You as an individual have the opportunity to come across the way you want people to see you. You really do. And it might take a bit of practice, just because you're not quite sure. So bounce this off family, bounce this off friends, bounce this off a mirror. And the other thing I want to share with a lot of you as well right now is surround yourself with good and positive people. Number one, get rid of negative people in your lives. And I don't want to start breaking up relationships or anything, but if you've got a loved one or someone who pushes you down the whole time, you're going to need to learn to distance yourself. So surround yourself with good, positive people. Surround yourself with people better than you. And I promise you, you'll see how your life changes. And put it out there. Some of you might think, Philip, you're in cloud cuckoo land. But what we throw out into the universe, I promise you will come back to you. Push those positive thoughts out into the universe. It really does work. And listen, I'm not always this bouncy and bubbly. I have days where I've got to dig deep. I really do. Especially working from home. We had to pivot as an organization like everyone else did. So what did I do? Is I take time and I go for a 10-minute walk. I take my little dog and off I go for that walk. And I just leave my phone behind, breathe. I try and think about nothing other than how wonderful it is just to be out on this walk. And I come back and I feel so much better. 9 times out of 10, I really and truly do. And there's huge merit in all of it. There's huge merit in meditation. So for those of you out there, we as individuals, we have the ability and the opportunity to change our lives. If I stand on the top of a hill with my mouth open, do you think a duck is going to come flying into my mouth? Not in a million years. I've got more chance of becoming pregnant. It's not going to happen. Okay, so you've got to take that gun, you've got to shoot that duck, you've got to wring its neck, you've got to take the feathers off, and you've got to pop it in the pot. That's the only way we are going to get that duck. Okay, so for all of you out there who've used your time and energy to engage in opportunities like this and go on journeys, looking at various ways to educate yourself, get off your social media and spend more time on something that's going to be a mind feed, that's going to elevate you and take you to new heights.
Fantastic. I think there's sorry, somebody just told me my camera was laughing. I was typing. That's probably what it was. I'm typing into the chat as I'm listening to you there, Philip. I think your presentation is amazing, and there was something else that resonated with me that you said, and it was in terms of, oh yeah, when you see everyone gets the phone call that you see, and it's one of those ones that you dread. And even Bridget, my number 2, says it to me. It's just, you just take the deep breath, breathe in, and it's like, hi, such and such, how are you? Because people can't help reacting to the positivity. That's what I do. Yeah.
And again, Talker, just to compliment what you're saying, every single one of us out there answers the phone with a smile, with a laughter.
Totally.
It is so connecting, and answer the phone clearly and concisely. I mentioned earlier on the pitch, the pace, the power, the pause, and the project. When we answer the telephone, hello, Philip speaking, Grand Hotel, how may I help you? Boom, with energy in your voice, slow down, not Philip speaking, sorry, who am I speaking to? And answer it with energy, because that is how you're going to connect with people. People really, I had a call with America a few months ago, and the woman said, good day, my name is Jennifer, and how may I make your day? I was like, wow, that's a lovely way to answer the telephone. She said her name clearly, and how may I make your day? What better than that? And that already turned, even if I were in a slightly negative mood, she's turned me around in a few words. And this is the power of language, ladies and gentlemen. So never underestimate the power of a compliment, and it must come from your heart. A genuine compliment to someone is one of the most powerful things we can do for people. A smile and a compliment can shift someone's day and make it so much better. So that needs to be very much in your rapport, in your repertoire.
We've got loads of praise there coming in there now for you, Philip, from Duncan. Thank you, Philip and Circa. Very insightful and enjoyable. Killian, what do you say to the person who they don't like, who doesn't like duck? What do you say to the person?
Just an analogy. I don't believe in going around shooting duck, but it's just an analogy.
Fantastic. I think Killian's pulling your leg. Listen, I think we will leave it there. I think we'll leave it there, Philip. Thank you so much for your presentation today. If anybody else would like to ask any more questions or get in touch, please let us know. I popped into the chat the links for the interpersonal skills today at 11:30 and speaking with Gravitas tomorrow at 9 a.m. because they resonate and they follow on from something like this today.
Completely.
But it was fantastic to have you here. And I know you're back with us on the 26th of November for another session. So hopefully we'll see you then. And I know you'll be with us back in January when we recommence the Ignite program. So thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. And thank you everybody on the call for participating and your questions. Great to see you.
Okay.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much for listening.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.